Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of the INT Trunks and just how good he is. Now, full disclaimer, this guy is going to get an EZA, and so is the Strength Trunks. Now, the Strength Trunks does look a bit wonky, but the INT Trunks, yeah, honestly, probably looks around about like I would expect. He looks pretty good. I think he's going to end up being a solid unit. Obviously the EZAs will determine, remember, they get extra stats, they get a whole bunch of extra gear, they get an upgrade to their passive, but so far the Trunks feels very solid. As a unit, I feel like he's reliable, and we'll take a look at just how good he could potentially be, obviously with his EZA. But let's just talk about him now. So he's a 50% Future Saga lead. He raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his super attack. He has key +2, attack and defense of 80%. He gets an additional attack and defense of 20% with each attack, up to 80%. He has a medium chance of performing a critical hit when there's a Future Saga or Time Travelers category enemy. He gets an additional attack and defense of 40%. When performing a super attack, there's a Future Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. He creates a domain, so he has a domain skill. This can be activated when there's a Time Travelers category enemy or starting from the 5th turn of battle, and this will increase Future Saga category superclass enemies and allies attack and defense by 10%. So it's important to note that this will increase allies and enemies if they are superclass Future Saga units. So for example, the Trunks IDBH stage, if you do that stage and you use the skill, you can be buffing Trunks and yourself, just as like a full disclaimer. He's got Messenger from the Future, called Judgment, Royal Lineage, Dismal Future, Z, Fighters, Soul vs. Soul, and Shine the Limit. And being a Trunks unit, he's on a fair number of categories: Hybrid Sands, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Vegeta's Family, Android Cell Saga, Bond the Master and Disciple, Revenge, Battle of Wits, Entrusted Will, Bond the Parent and Child, and Earthbred Fighters. Personally, I think the domain he makes, Wasteland Future or whatever it's called, is pretty solid. I think a 10% buff basically for 4 turns is okay. I think that's going to get boosted to 20% with his EZA. I can just see it happening. I think he's basically going to essentially double for the most part with his EZA. So I do think he could end up looking pretty decent. I think a big component's obviously going to be a 20% 4 turn buff is pretty cool. It's going to assist obviously a lot of the new units that have EZA'd. I think his overall performance will be interesting to see. I think with his stat increase, with his passive increase, with a greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, I think he could be a solid unit as an option to a certain extent. I think whenever you look at free-to-play units, you have to look at what are they doing, and they're basically acting to fill in a role for a team for a certain level of content. Maybe not Red Zone or anything, but IDBH, LGEGT, even up to earlier Red Zones, some of the earlier stages, maybe even some of the Mortal Will, Divine Wrath stages, etc. So I do think, for me, Trunks, obviously, in his current state, looks okay. I think there's the kit here to become a very good unit. He's got that additional attack and defense on super. He's got that raises attack and defense that can change. He builds up fairly quickly. I mean, 20% with each attack, so 4 attacks. It's not super attacks either, so any additional attack will proc it, which I think is good. He's got a very solid domain or interesting domain skill. So yeah, I think he looks pretty good. The key +2 is also quite nice. So yeah, I think there's the toolkit here to make him an exceptional unit. Obviously, it's going to depend a lot on what they do with his EZA as to whether he becomes a hero free-to-play unit, much like Tech World Tournament Jackie Chun, or whether he becomes just a solid free-to-play unit. I think that's always the 2 sides of the coin. It's either they become this beast free-to-play unit that no one expects, or they don't, and then they become a bit kind of on the wayside. Link levels or link wise, I think he looks solid. And we'll talk a bit more about his links at the end, because that's kind of where things get really super interesting with him. But there are some really solid links, and then there's some kind of average ones that he's got. Cold Judgment obviously being the major standout. I think the thing is Future's received so many buffs as a category that I just think it's very, very interesting to see how he goes. I think for me, like, you have to always decide whether Future Saga even needs him. Like, if someone's realistically been summoning on any of these banners, with the amount of good Future Saga units, you've got Zamasu, AGL Zamasu, Goku Rose, Trunks, EZA, Tech Trunks, EZA, in Future Gohan, EZA, Gowasu, Zamasu, EZA, the Int Mai, EZA, you've Tech Zamasu, AGL Super Saiyan God, and Goku. So many units have received buffs for the Future Saga that I think for this specific free-to-play unit, considering they did a whole batch of sub-EZAs, we basically got 6 EZAs so far already, I think this specific unit needs to be, especially with his EZA, done really, really well. Not that he's bad, it's just that the whole team got so many buffs that it just doesn't make sense that people would be interested in even farming a free-to-play unit outside of the ticket missions, if he's not going to be great. So I think it'll be interesting to see his EZA, but I do think he definitely, as a unit, he's got the capabilities to be really good. He has, and the domain skill being a new function, it could be interesting to provide a 4-turn buff, especially since if there's a time travelers category enemy, it means you could pop him, first rotation, third slot. If he can survive an attack and get off his domain skill, you basically can just boost your team for 4 turns, which is pretty cool. So that's basically it. Obviously, regarding his link set, as discussed, this is where things get a bit interesting. So we've got Cold Judgment, which is a very good link. Real Lineage and Dismal Future give him solid key coverage, Shattering the Limit as well. And then you have Messenger from the Future, which is like okay. But then you have Z Fighters and Soul v Soul. Now Soul v Soul is like a Super Trunks armor thing. It's a very weird link that's not got a lot of linking partners. And the linking partners that are there are very strange. Got like a couple androids, Paikuhan, a Piccolo, a couple Trunkses, Android 70. It's a very weird link. I don't really know the spectrum that they have. I think it's people that make an emotional connection with their enemy, I think, but it's very weird and very strange. So Soul v Soul is a bit of a strange one, I'm not gonna lie, and that link is just basically dead in the water. And then Z Fighters is a fairly solid link, but again is also pretty hard to get. But Royal Lineage, Dismal Future, Cold Judgment, Messenger from the Future, and Sharing the Limit give him enough coverage. Link leveling, it's a free-to-play unit, so I don't suggest link leveling at all. If you are someone who's super down to link level, then go for it. Obviously, Cold Judgment gets a bit of a defensive boost. Royal Lineage gives you more ki. Dismal Future gives you more ki. There are some nice effects of the link leveling. Sharing the Limit gives you more attack and defense, so there is some benefit, but it's not so straightforward. It can be I don't really see the point in link leveling a free-to-play unit like this. So that's kind of basically it. Obviously, beyond that, I think overall is really, really solid. I think he's great. I think he could have a good basis to become a very interesting unit later on, and we'll see. I don't plan on reviewing the Strength Trunks because he's gonna need a crazy EZA to work. But this one definitely looks very interesting, and the domain skill makes him interesting. But that's gonna be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and as always, see you next time. Bye.